Tim Powers from Divorce to Dates, and coming up with the second part of the texting blog, or vlog, I should say. Now, this is going to be where it doesn't go to plan, and I'm going to share that with you, how it didn't go to plan, and I'm going to share how I retained the frame, if you like, even though this girl was trying to pull all sorts of tricks. And though I may not have got the outcome that I wanted, I in the end, I didn't get this girl out for a date. But actually, that being said, I'm glad I didn't, because as far as I can see in the texting exchange, I exposed her true colors. All right, the sad truth is that as a guy, you got to have game. But as a girl, you've also got to have game. And a lot of girls have really bad girl game. This is an example of a girl that had really, really bad girl game. And as the text sequence continues, you're going to see why. So let's pick up where we left off in part 1. So if you haven't seen part 1, go back and watch part 1. It's the last video. All right, so now on to part 2. So pretty much we'd provisionally arranged, scheduled a time for a date. I said to her, okay, keep Saturday afternoon free. I'll share plans with you when I finish work. She said, okay, smile face. Fantastic. So retain top of mind awareness. She's waiting for my reply. All is good. We had a little bit of banter, something about childhood trauma. I said childhood trauma is an optional extra. Just keeping the theme. So we've kind of got like 2 themes going on concurrently in the conversation now. We're talking about arranging the date, and we've also got this kind of childhood trauma joke, which we're talking about simultaneously, because you can reply to each message independently. So you're kind of talking about 2 threads at the same time. Okay, so I suggested a place to meet. Let's meet Cafe Zaremba for 4 p.m. Do you know it? My friend, who's actually a lawyer there, met me there and is very cute. And she said, no, I don't know it, but I guess there is rather coffee than food, ? 4 p.m. is a good time to lunch, wink. Quick interruption just to say, if you're enjoying the video, subscribe to the channel. It takes less than 2 seconds. And if you really want to help, drop a comment, like the video, click the bell notification to be notified of future videos. Boom. And back to the video, and goodbye from the kitchen of dreams. Lately, I just don't feel like cooking, haha. Okay, so this is the warning sign for me. She mentioned something about grabbing lunch before. I've made a video, made a short before on why you shouldn't take girls to lunch. It's super, it's unattractive. Like, a girl's chewing food in front of you. If she eats garlic, you're not going to be able to kiss her. Her breath's going to stink. It's not romantic. You sit opposite each other, which means you can't create physical proximity, which means you're not going to be able to create man-woman attraction. It's expensive. And the most important thing why you shouldn't take a girl for a dinner date is it's a ridiculous investment for a first date. You two don't know each other, and it's a disproportionate investment for how well you know each other. Anyway, at this point, I can tell she's angling for a lunch, which is starting to press my buttons. I've kind of dismissed it the first time, and then she's going back to the lunch. When it comes to dates, by the way, I'm like in the courting process, I'm happy to pay. However, me being happy to pay means that I choose the date. It's my job as a man to lead and guide the interaction. It's her job to follow and trust my lead. Let's continue. Okay, so I said yes, coffee. I'm doubling down. And then lately, I don't feel like cooking. I try and make a joke out of it. This is how you're very slim. And then she presses it. Let's have lunch somewhere, wink. No, I'm naturally slim. To me, it's very difficult to gain weight. Okay, let's have lunch somewhere. Now, here's the thing. This is where she's starting to show bad girl game. This girl was physically a pretty attractive girl. Imagine typical blonde, right? Eastern European, gorgeous blonde. So here's why it's bad girl game. Some guys will not get a chance with a girl like that very often. So they will jump through hoops to get her out. They'll do anything. They'll buy her lunch. They'll take her all over the place. They'll spend hundreds of pounds on a date. This is an overinvestment. This is what simping is. This is where you're trying to buy, physically, you're trying to buy the right to spend time with a girl. And this is what guys don't understand. This is not attractive behavior. I might butcher this explanation, but I'll give it a go. This is where guys get it confused. They think spending money on a girl is going to create attraction. It won't. Being attractive will create attraction. Displaying attractive behavior, being willing to jump through hoops financially to get her out is not attractive. And I know, because embarrassingly, I've made that mistake with a girl before, and I painfully learned that lesson. I took her out for 6 dates, 7 dates, and guess where it went? Nowhere. And guess how many of those were dinner dates? Over half of them. So I spent a significant amount of money on that girl, and it never went anywhere. If a girl's trying to get you to spend money on her straight away, it's a really bad sign. But the fact that you've gone up to her, you've approached her in whether it's cold daylight, or you've gone through all this effort to get her contact, whatever it is, and now she's trying to get you to spend money on her, bad sign. And here is why it's a bad sign if she's doing this. Her ego is saying, I'm a really pretty girl, I deserve lunch, or whatever, I deserve lunch. If he doesn't want to invest in me, then he doesn't deserve my time. And of course, girls are kind of inundated with this kind of stuff on social media. If you haven't seen it, I've seen 1 or 2 posts. The reason why this is bad is the only guys that will do this, the only guys that will take her out for expensive lunches and expensive dinners, are chodes, are simps, are guys who don't get it. These are guys that she will deep down not respect. She will wish, if she goes on dates with these guys, she'll just be like, why can't I find a good guy that's got it, that's got the edge? And the reason for that is because she's making these ridiculous demands on first dates, and the only guys that will fulfill those demands are chodes, are simps, unfortunately. So that's bad girl game. She'll never meet the guy that she wants because she's demanding a guy jump through hoops to take her out, simp hoops, and yet as a woman, she will not be attracted to simp behavior. So she's demanding behavior she won't be attracted to. And what will happen is this girl will get older and older and older and be incredibly frustrated with life, and most likely be single or settle for a simp and never be happy, never have good sex, never be deeply fulfilled in the relationship. Bad girl game. I say I save lunch for when we know each other better. So this is me kind of just clearly laying down a boundary. And then I try and soften it when she goes, I'm naturally slim. I go, I'm teasing. And then she's kind of still playing playful, but it's very, very clear that she wants a dinner. Okay, and I don't drink coffee at 4 p.m. So what now? Thing is, she's saying something illogical. Plenty of drinks on the menu that aren't coffee, wink. That's my reply. Like, is it about, my reply, the subtext is it about coffee or is it about getting a free lunch? Sorry, here you go. Sorry, we either meet at 4 p.m. for lunch or coffee, or we don't. Or coffee earlier, or we don't. And this is where I lay it down. I mean, she's determined to get her way, essentially. And this is also why it's bad girl game. This is reason number 2 is bad girl game. She's determined to get her way. So she's determined to decide what we're doing for the date, but yet she'll still want me to organize it. She'll still want me to book the venue. She'll still want me to pay for it. But she wants to call the shots, as in, like, whether we're going to eat, whether we're going to have... Like, no way, darling. You play the feminine role and you let me plan and organize it. Otherwise, we don't play at all. You're a high-value man. Even if you don't have options right now, it's really important that you treat these girls as if you do have options. There's absolutely... At this point, she's going to have to really magic something to save it. Whew. Look, you seem like a nice girl. Well, this is me. Look, you seem like a nice girl when I met you. Unless you want to organize our meeting and pay for it, then you can leave the planning down to me. If you're not happy with that, then yes, we don't need to meet. That's me saying, look, you either let me sort it out, darling, and let me be the man and you take a seat back, or forget it. You can't have your cake and eat it, sweetheart. You can't expect me to pay for it, expect me to organize it, but you choose what we're doing. Doesn't work like that. And to which she replies, gosh, I am nice, but what is not... This is where she throws her toys out the pram, right? I am not nice, but what is not nice is not even wanting to acknowledge my needs at this early stage. Nonsense. Needs. What are your needs? Like, seriously, like, what are your needs? So your needs is lunch, and it doesn't make any sense. In a restaurant, you're off your head, darling. If you don't, and then this is where she says it, if you don't find me worthy of investing in a lunch in me, then I'm not interested. She's got me mistaken there. Hypothetically, of course I'd invest in lunch in her as time goes on. Of course I'd buy her dinner, hypothetically. But not initially out the gate am I going to spend, 100 quid or $100 or whatever it is on a lunch for a girl that is displaying this type of princess behavior. It's ridiculous. Perhaps she had a dad that got her everything. Yeah, very, very, very bad behavior. Okay, so she says, if you don't find me worthy of investing in a lunch with me, then I'm not interested. Now, at this point, there's nothing I can say that won't be spiteful. The only replies I can think of are spiteful ones. So, as in, I'm annoyed with her behavior. I can't believe she exists as a human being, that she literally wants me to take her out, buy her lunch. And what's wrong with this, guys, is that you should have masculine and feminine polarity. If she's trying to boss you about at this early stage and have her way with what she wants to do for the date, then she's sort of trying to adopt the masculine role, but without any of the responsibility. And if you go along with that, you are a simp of simps. You have no self-respect. You have no personal boundaries. You suck. And probably you may have done that in your life before. I've done it before. Don't do that. You need to put your foot down. You need to see it for what it is. No matter how hot she is, these type of girls are not worth spending your time on. Do not go along with it. Do not get them out and have them and pay for things for them. Unless they agree to go along the date that you organize, then of course sometimes compromises, like for example, let me give an example where compromise is appropriate. I suggested a bar to one girl and she said, I don't drink, can we go somewhere else? Because it was a bar that served only alcohol. I understood and I said, yeah, sure, no worries. And I chose another venue. So sometimes compromise is fine. But, and so I'm not saying never compromise on a location, on a choice, etc. But if it's like this, where the girl's saying, buy me lunch, otherwise I'm not coming. Well, darling, next. You got to learn to next these girls. So anyway, 2 hours passed, and then she messages, by the way, I just thought this is so ridiculous, as drinks and coffees and bars are the most overpriced things, costing almost as much as what a lunch can cost. She's trying to plead with me to take her out, but she hasn't got the humility to say, sorry, I was being a spoiled little brat. You're right, I'd love to go for coffee with you. If she said that, I probably would have taken her out, because I would have respected the ability to own up to the fact that she was behaving like a spoiled little brat. But she didn't do that. That was her lame effort at an excuse. Her lame effort to try and twist my ear with, terrible. Anyway, so the point of this video, guys, is, which is possibly more important than the last video, is just beware of the games that girls will play. The more attractive a girl is as well, the more likely she potentially is to pull this type of thing. That doesn't mean that, look, to be honest, most girls do not do this. This, out of probably, I don't know, man, out of all the dates I've ever been on in my life, I've probably had 2 or 3 girls that have ever done this. But you want to be aware of it, because if you're the kind of guy that off the top of the bat will spend silly money on a date to impress a girl, you're going to raise the likelihood of you doing this type of thing. When I started doing cold approach, when I started this journey after my divorce, if you like, of getting good with girls, I never went on expensive dates as a matter of principle. Coffee dates, sometimes drinks, that was it. I never did anything extravagant, and I got good results. So you don't need to do all of that. And if you think you do, then it's probably a facade. You're probably covering up something inside of yourself. Instead of spending all this money, learn how to develop attractive traits. What are attractive traits? Learn how to lead, become confident, learn how to become charismatic, learn humor, become well-read, become well-traveled, have interesting stories, be social when you're out, develop attractive behaviors, and do not spend money on a girl as a cover-up for developing those attractive behaviors. Because while she may come out on 1, 2, even 6 dates with you, you're rarely going to be the guy that she respects, because you're not leading with attractive behavior. You are leading with your wallet. Don't do it. I'm going to leave it there. So guys, if you've enjoyed the video, please give a subscribe to the video, drop a comment, share the video with one of your friends, click the bell notification to be notified of future videos. And that is going to help the channel grow. And of course, this is like real advice for guys that have come out of relationships or come out of divorces. And we know it's not easy out there. So let's do what we can to help this community grow. And I'm going to leave it there for today. Boom.